Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mano Visham Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagaradatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savidutam Paridhana Chaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Irada Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sam Krishna Karuna Sindhu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopicha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sate Devi Pranamami Haribri Vanchakalpatra Kripa Sindhubhe Vacham Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Chivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we started the Bhagavad Gita and we are still doing the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, which is a very, very important message that Srila Prabhupada is giving us so that you know the entire Bhagavad Gita as to what is going on. Gives you an idea what is going on in the introduction. And that is why you must pay careful attention to the introduction. Prabhupada, we're going to go a little backwards from last week what we did. And let me ask some questions to see how much we understood this part of introduction that we were dealing with. There are 5 different relationships with the Supreme Person of Godhead. Anybody knows?
Friend.
Huh?
Friend.
One is friendship. In Sanskrit it is Sakyaras. Everyone repeat Sakyaras.
Sakyaras.
Another one?
Parent.
Parental. What is that? In Sanskrit it is Vatsalyaras. Anything else?
Lover, you saying? Lover?
Lover or conjugal. What is that in Sanskrit? Madhurya Ras. Another one?
Neutrality.
Huh?
Neutrality.
Yes, neutrality. It's Santaras. And one more? Huh?
Enemy.
Not enemy, no. Relation, loving relationship. Loving relationship. Because in Krishna, with Krishna there's a loving relationship. Nothing else. Krishna is all about
Love.
Love. Yes, Krishna is all about love. And if you know how to love Krishna, you can take Krishna and put him in your pocket. But if you don't know how to love Krishna, you'll never catch him. No matter what you are, great persons, mystic, yogis, and jnanis, they try to sit and meditate, but they cannot come to that understanding that Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. And he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore one got to understand the relationships. And you can only have a relationship with the Lord when you are a
Devotee.
devotee. Give him a big hand, please. Listen very carefully now. Only when you are a devotee, you can have a relationship with Krishna. And that is why I should give you the answer. That is why Arjuna was the first person to get the knowledge in disciplic succession when it was re-spoken. Right? Why did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and nobody else?
He had a qualification.
Huh?
He had a qualification.
Sorry?
He had a qualification.
No.
He was a friend.
Yes, give him a big hand, please. He was a friend and a friend and a dear devotee of Lord Krishna. Give him a big hand, please. Yes. That is how you come to know about Bhagavad Gita. And especially Bhagavad Gita should be spoken to a devotee, But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, many people are hearing Bhagavad Gita and they are becoming devotees. The purpose is that the people might be ignorant of themselves, but they are innocent. And therefore, for those innocent persons, Bhagavad Gita is preached all over the world. So we have to thank Srila Prabhupada, and he gave us an opportunity to study this literature and preach to everybody. Understand? And therefore, in order to be successful and understand Bhagavad Gita, what must you do? You must? Huh? Huh?
Associate with devotees.
Yes, but what must you do? Huh? Chant, yes, but in the beginning when you come, you must? Huh?
Devotional service.
Not devotional service, but before devotional service, what do? You can't just go and do devotional service. What do you do?
Surrender.
Huh?
Surrender.
Before surrender, yeah, surrender too, but
Listen, yeah.
you must inquire, ask when you come there, what is this, what can I do? Inquiry. Then a devotee will help you to do such and such a thing. And you'll begin. And the devotee will tell you, right now you can chant, that is right. Engage in devotional service to Krishna, do some service like that. You must inquire, right? Without inquiry, human life does not begin. If you don't inquire, you are not in human life. You are in? Huh? Yes, Prabhupada will always say that. That is animal consciousness, because does an animal inquire? No inquiry. That is why it's an animal. But is a human being, the human being will inquire. Who am I? What am I? What is my purpose? Right. And we're going to read now from the next paragraph. And you can listen very carefully of this introduction. Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. Even then, out of many, many beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position. And for him, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Actually, we are all swallowed by the tigress of nescience. But the Lord is very merciful upon the living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. So here it is. Why does the Lord descend? The Lord specifically descends to re-establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. And in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned in chapter 4 verse 7. What does it say? The purpose of his descent, why Krishna comes. And we're going to have Janmashtami shortly. Huh? Yeah, give him a big hand, please. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijanyaham. For what purpose? Chapter 4 verse 8. For what purpose does Krishna
To
come?
re-establish dharma.
Huh?
To re-establish dharma.
Yes, how does he do that? It stated in chapter 4 verse 8. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashayatu duskritam dharma samarstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The Lord descends to protect, to annihilate the demons and to protect the innocent or the devotees. And that is why the Lord descends to this material world, and we're going to celebrate his descent very shortly on the 2nd of August. Right? Continuing. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man can act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. Okay. Now tell me, Arjuna was a great devotee of the Lord, but why was he so ignorant? That he didn't know what to do.
No.
Huh?
No, it's for our benefit. Krishna to speak the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna.
But who made him ignorant?
Krishna.
Huh?
Krishna.
Yes, Krishna put him into ignorance. I just read here now. I read it here. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, can you imagine? He can't become ignorant, right? Arjuna was above all ignorance. He was not ignorant. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of the future generation of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. So we just spoke about inquiry, isn't it? That is why he put him into ignorance, so that Arjuna could inquire. My dear Lord, I can't understand what you're saying. And I am your soul surrendered unto you. That is there here in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 7. If you read, it's there. And he surrendered to the Lord as a disciple, no more as a friend. No more as a friend, no friendship. Now it's a change. The relationship changed one to spiritual master and disciple. And then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita not for Arjuna. For who did he speak? People like myself.
Yes, our benefit.
Just like myself, out of ignorance we were suffering in this material world. And for us to remove our pains and miseries, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And where did he speak Bhagavad Gita?
Battlefield.
Yes, I'm so happy that you know that. Not in the ashram, but he spoke on the battlefield. Why on all places of the battlefield, what happens on the battlefield? Huh?
Anxiety.
War takes place. And how can you correlate that in a human being? How do you correlate that with a human being?
In the war, you won't be able to think.
Huh?
You won't be able to think, you'll be worried.
More than that, yes, that will. But there's a war that's going on within our own mind also. Is it true or not true?
Yes.
We are all at war in our lifetime because we are going through so much of difficulty and problem and misery. You know? So there's a war that is going within us. That is why you can correlate that war that's going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There's a war that's going on in our mind. And through this, Lord Krishna will speak Bhagavad Gita, how to fight the battle within our mind while fighting the battle on Kurukshetra. You can equate that with our own battle in our consciousness. How to fight that battle that we are having so much of problem, how to overcome this problem. That is why Bhagavad Gita is very, very, very special and very important. That you have to hear it again and again if you want to free yourself from this. Okay, we're going to continue. The subject of the Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. There are 5 basic truths that Bhagavad Gita deals with. The constitutional position of the living entities, that is the jivas. There is Ishvara, which means a controller. And there are the jivas, the living entities which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled, but that he is free, then he is insane. Insane or Hindi word?
Pagal.
Huh?
Pagal.
Pagal. You have a big hand, please. Yes. You are a pagla. Isn't they use the word in Hindi? You say, oh, you do all stupid things. You are a pagla. So don't be a pagla. So therefore we don't know that we are insane. Therefore we have to know and understand Bhagavad Gita so that we can come out of this difficulty. Yeah, every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjuna also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered unto Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or the other, we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. I'm reading the wrong place. The subject matter of Bhagavad Gita entails a comprehension of 5 basic truths. And the 5 basic, the constitutional position of the living entities, jivas. There is Ishvara, which means a controller. And there are jivas, the living entities, which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled, but that he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in the conditional life. Are we controlled or not controlled?
We are controlled.
Huh? Everyone are controlled by some somehow or the other over some person. Like for example, the state president is the controller of this country, and under him as his ministers, he controls everything. And above the state president there are other controllers like that, alright? And then when you are at home, there is a controller at home. And who is a controller at home? The wife. Actually meant to be the husband. The wife is a controller, yes. She does all the control at home. Right? So like that, any sphere of life, but normally, generally the man is a controller at home.
Supposed to be.
Sorry?
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, but the new generation is the wife becomes a controller.
And the children. Children also.
Huh?
Children also.
Oh yes, of course. Children nowadays even worse. The children control the parents. It's a very difficult time. And therefore so many parents are in anxiety. Therefore Bhagavad Gita has spoken how to deal with these anxieties. Right? Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence in the atmosphere of non-existence. What is that? Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. What is that? Anybody can explain? Huh? Our existence, our natural position is that we are what by nature?
Servants.
Huh?
Servants.
Yes, eternal.
Yeah.
We are eternal by nature. But this material world is temporary and it's non-existent because it will be vanquished at any time. It was created by the Lord through His illusion, and then it will be vanquished, destroyed eventually. Right? So therefore one must understand that our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. That shouldn't be the case. We should be in the eternally existing, not temporary. But because we have taken a material body which is temporary, therefore we are in the state of non-existence. Is that clear? Or you need more explanation? Is it clear? Huh? You'll need more clarity? Huh?
Yes.
Huh? Something that doesn't exist, is it eternal?
No.
So this body, is it eternal?
No.
It is only temporary. What is eternal within this body?
The soul.
The soul, right? So therefore, our very existence means our very eternal nature is within this non-existence, means which is temporary, it would not exist very long. Is that clear?
Yes. Thank
Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. We are being threatened by non-existence, thinking that we would not exist any longer. But in reality, we are eternal by nature. It's only because we are on the bodily platform which is temporary, right? That is non-existence, that we are being threatened by that.
You will be thinking we are the body.
Yes,
That's why.
that is non-existent.
Totally.
So we shouldn't be threatened by non-existent. We should understand we are eternal by nature and not be afraid of anything. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why. Again, I'm going back there. Sorry about that. I needed to just explain that non-existence and existence. We go back to the subject of the Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths, and that is, first of all, the science of God is explained, and the constitutional position of the living entity, Jiva. There is Ishvara, which means the controller, and there are jivas, the living entity, which are controlled. And if a living entity says that he is not controlled but that he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in his conditioned life. So in conditioned life we are all controlled. So in Bhagavad Gita the subject matter deals with, one is Ishvara, the supreme controller. Who is Ishvara? The supreme controller, right? And time, the second one. The duration of existence of the whole universe or manifestation of material nature, right? That is time. The time this material world exists, it exists by time.
Yeah,
And
certain
in
time
time,
will be finished.
sorry?
Certain time will be finished.
Yeah, certain time will be finished, destroyed. The duration of existence of the whole universe or manifestation of material nature. And the next one is karma, which is activity, also discussed. The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. Is it true or not true? You can see that all kinds of activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita we must learn what is God, what the living entities are, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of the living entities are. So these are the things that we must learn from Bhagavad Gita. What Lord Krishna is trying to tell us. One is to learn what is God, what are the living entities, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of the living entities are. So these are the subject matters that will be dealt in Bhagavad Gita, right?
Nice. 20 past 4.
Stop here.
Yeah, if you want to take questions. Take questions.
Can I carry on?
Yeah, up to you.
10 minutes.
Anybody
Okay,
can add it?
we can. It's very interesting. Bhagavad, is it interesting? Yes.
10 minutes.
Out of these 5 basic subject matters in Bhagavad Gita, it is established that the Supreme Godhead of Krishna, or Brahman, or the Supreme Controller, or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. So of all these subject matters, who is the greatest of all?
Krishna.
Huh?
Krishna.
Yes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And that is why it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3, I think it's 20, let me turn to that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's from Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 28. Ete chamsa kala pumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vaikulam Lokam Mirdayanti Yuge Yuge. Translation, you can repeat. All of the above mentioned incarnations
All of the above mentioned
are either plenary portions
plenary portion
or portions
or portion
of the plenary portions
plenary
of the Lord.
of the Lord.
But Lord Sri Krishna
The Lord Sri Krishna
is the original
is the original
personality
personality
of Godhead.
God.
All of them
All of them
appear on planets
beyond them.
whenever
Whenever
there is a disturbance
there is a disturbance
created by the atheists.
created by the
The Lord incarnates
The Lord
Lord incarnate
to protect the theists.
yes.
Right? Eta chamsa kala pumsha. That the Lord Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that of all the incarnations, either plenary portion or portions of the plenary portion, because there are many manifestations of the Lord. This plenary portions of the Lord, or the portions of the plenary portions. That will be explained in the parts and parcel of the Lord. You get the direct incarnation of the Lord. You get so many different manifestations of the Lord. Is that clear? And they're on different levels, on different avatars. That will be explained in Bhagavad Gita later. But of all those incarnations, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Is that clear?
Yes.
The verse is 1:3:28.
Okay.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to carry on. The living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs of material nature, as will be explained in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Maya Dakshana Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. This material nature is working under my direction. So here it is being mentioned that the living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. But that does not mean to say that you are the Supreme Controller, like some people make a mistake. You are qualitatively the same as the Lord, but not in quantity. You may begin. You are same as the Lord in quality, but not in quantity. How to understand this? I'll give you an example. Prabhupada was always given. You take a teaspoon of water from the ocean and you taste the water. What taste you get? Salty. Right? And if you go to the ocean water, what it is? It is also same, salty, right? Quality is same. But the quantity, is it the same? The teaspoon is just a small quantity. Minute. But the quality is salty. But the ocean is vast. It's a big ocean. So similarly, we are qualitatively we are one with Krishna. That means the soul, not the body. Please listen carefully. The spirit soul is eternal like Lord Krishna. Right? But the spirit soul, compared to Lord Krishna, is very tiny, minute. Krishna is a complete whole, and we are tiny part of fragment. How tiny the soul is? How tiny is the soul?
1/10,000 years.
You know? Huh? School never teaches us. And that is the problem of our education and educational system in this material world. Not only for us too. We weren't taught. Like I spoke last time here, that science studies matter. In school, they teach us everything about matter, right? But a person who is in spiritual, for a person who is in spiritual life, the most important thing is what matters, not what is matter. What matters to him, that who am I, what am I, and how am I to get out from this material world? That matters to him, but not matter as in material life. Therefore, in school, they will learn about the body, every body part, this, that, right? They dissect and bisect and whatever. But they cannot understand what keeps the body alive. Because if you take dead bodies and you put them in the chair in the classroom, I'm repeating this again so that to understand this. Can the teacher teach the dead bodies?
No.
But does anybody inquire about it? Nobody asks. People are dying. Why are they dying? What keeps their body alive?
Yeah, but Prabhu, all the children taking drugs, they're already dead. They're already in the classroom.
Sorry?
The children are taking drugs, they're dead in the classroom. The children are dead in the classroom. They're taking drugs.
Yeah, that's another subject matter. But important thing is that we are talking about inquiry, we have got to make inquiry. But nobody wants to inquire about that. If you inquire about that, the problem of drugs will be cleaned out. There will be no problem.
They're teaching dead.
If you know the basics, ABC of spiritual life, there will be no problems of drugs. But because we don't know the ABC of spiritual life, we simply learn about matter, then we have a problem. We can't resolve the problems because you can't bring a solution to matter with matter. You can't do that. You must bring a solution to something that's living. Then you can resolve the problem of matter. And that is our greatest problem. We have to make that highest inquiry. All right? The material nature is working under my direction. Nothing is independent of the Lord. And it is stated here, Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. This material nature is working under my direction. Not me, my direction, Krishna's direction. So therefore we got to understand Krishna like that. Others will become totally confused, and follow man and go in the wrong direction. And that's what's happening today. We are all gone in the wrong direction. These material scientists cannot understand anything beyond matter. Because spiritual nature is beyond matter. And that's what matters to us. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord, as Lord Krishna says, Maya dakshana prakriti suyate sa characharam. This material nature is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation there is a controller. Can you see wonderful things happening in this cosmic material nature also?
Yes.
Do you experience that? Yeah, the wind is blowing already. We are sitting right there. How that is happening? There's the ocean that's flowing. How is that happening? That's the wonders of the world. But man says it came about by matter. What happened to matter, they say? In school they teach like that. There was a big bang. Matter exploded and everything was created. Can that be true?
No.
That is not intelligence. This is intelligence. Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we have to be thankful to who? Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Because they are learning about matter and say that there was a big bang and matter exploded. How did matter come? First place. Oh, we can even say matter came by a big bang. Then how did the big bang begin? Nowadays we don't inquire. In school they sit, I'll call them dumb. Because they don't inquire. That is a problem. And the scientists, that is their theory. And eventually they forget that because they can't come to a conclusion, they get new theories now. Now there is something else. What it is?
Black hole.
Huh?
Universe comes from the black hole.
Yeah, no black hole. There's something else. They came very close to
Yeah.
what our scriptures are saying. There's something, what do you call them?
Quantum.
So the scientific research they did. I can't get that word because I'm not a scientist, you know. If I get that word again, next week I'll mention that.
Theory of
Huh?
relativity.
Huh?
The theory of relativity.
No, not theory.
Not
theory.
evolution.
Huh?
Evolution.
Not evolution. Evolution was
Mm.
whose theory? Einstein or
Darwin.
Huh?
Darwin.
Darwin's theory.
Mm.
Prabhupada rejected that already. That got forgotten. Wrong theory. Something else, very interesting theory, but very close to what we are doing. And eventually they might get there to understand Krishna, the Supreme.
Matter, antimatter.
No,
black,
no.
Black matter.
Huh?
Black matter.
No. I'll get that. It's a difficult word. Nevertheless, so Lord Krishna is in control of everything. It's not independent. Nothing is independent of Krishna. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. And Prabhupada gives an example. For instance, a child may think an automobile is quite wonderful to be able to run without a horse or other animal pulling it. But a sane man knows the nature of the automobile's engineering arrangement. You see cars going, isn't it? Or sometimes a cart is being drawn by the horse. A child that's a toddler knows nothing. He look at that bus running or car or truck. He will get very excited, isn't it? Because that child is in ignorance. He's thinking that how this is so wonderful, this is running on its own. But when he grows up like us, we can understand that bus is running on the road, that car that is running on the road. Who is behind that? Huh?
Driver.
There is a driver, controller, somebody to control that, isn't it? So that child being ignorant would not understand that. So similarly, like that, we being ignorant, we cannot understand behind this huge cosmic creation and its movement and motion, there is a supreme control. That we got to understand by simple messages like this. Right? Similarly, the Supreme Lord is a driver under whose direction everything is working. Now the jivas or the living entities have been accepted by the Lord, as we will note in the later chapters, as his parts and parcels. So we are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Person of God. So I'm going to surprise you here a little bit. All of you are sitting here are all gods. True or not true?
Small gods.
Huh?
Small gods.
Huh?
Small gods.
Yes?
Small gods.
Yes, give him a big hand, please. He's right. We are tiny gods, but not God. That's called Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. That means simultaneous, one with, but different from the Lord. Why is that? Because we are tiny parts, sparks of Krishna. And I'll give you another example to understand this. You see spark when you light fire. Bola to sometimes we make, isn't it? They sit around the fire like that. Bonfire. You find what's flying out of the fire sometimes? Sparks. Is that part of the fire? Yes. There's tiny sparks. That's fire also. Is it the complete fire? No. It's only a tiny spark. So therefore it is fire, but at the same time, it is not fire, complete fire. Similarly, we too are part and parcel of Krishna. We are eternal by nature. Alright? So therefore we are, in one sense, we are tiny. Prabhupada mentioned in Bhagavad Gita somewhere that we are tiny Krishnas. We are tiny little Krishnas, but not the complete Krishna. Don't make that mistake and think you are God like some Mayavadi foolish people or the atheists who think God does not exist. By the way, how many of you are sitting here think that the God does not exist?
The CC.
If you want to challenge me, just try it. And Bhagavad Gita has taught us this, that Prabhupada shattered all challenges. Nobody could challenge Srila Prabhupada. He defeated everyone. That is why Prabhupada wrote the book. There's one book that he called, that when the scientists say that things come from matter, but Prabhupada wrote a book.
Life comes from life.
Give him a big hand, please. Life comes from life. Life doesn't come from matter. Rather, matter comes from life. Because it is through consciousness that everything is created. And the supreme conscious being is me. Huh?
No.
Huh?
No.
No, not me. It's Krishna. I'm just fooling you. Not me. The supreme being is Krishna himself. So therefore we have to be careful, hear carefully, not to be confused by these foolish atheists and these scientists who deal with matter. A particle, Prabhupada giving a nice example. A particle of gold is also gold. A drop of water from the ocean is also salty. And similarly, we, the living entities, being part and parcel of the Supreme Controller, Ishvara, or Bhagavan, Lord Sri Krishna, have all the qualities of the Supreme Lord in minute quantity, because we are minute Ishwaras, minute controllers. Ishvara is controller, we are tiny controllers. Subordinate Ishwaras means subordinate to the Supreme Ishvara, Parameshwara, Paramatma. Right? His name is Paramatma. Nice name. But he is not the Supreme Paramatma. He is subordinate to the Supreme Paramatma.
Das.
We are trying to control nature as presently we are trying to control space or planets. And this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. You see, this material world, this whole creation, cosmic creation, is a perverted reflection of what is in the spiritual world. You know what's the meaning of perverted reflection? Huh? What is perverted reflection?
Opposite.
Huh?
Opposite.
Yeah, upside down.
Yes.
Yeah, it is opposite. What is original in the spiritual world is not the original thing. For example, Prabhupada gave another example. You get a tree standing on the bank of the river, and when the sun shines, you get the sun shining on the tree, and the shadow falls into the water. And if you look into the water, you see exactly the tree, isn't it?
Yes. Upside down.
But it is only the shadow of the tree. If the tree have fruits, everything, you'll see in the shadow, there's fruits hanging. But is it the original tree?
No.
No.
Yeah, we jump in the water to get the fruits.
It is an upside down reflection. It is not the original. So another example is like when the sun is shining, you'll find your shadow. Is that shadow you? That's not the person, it's only the shadow. So like this material creation is a shadow of what is in the spiritual world. Everything that's in the spiritual world is here in this material world. But it is only temporary. It is only temporary. But everything in the spiritual world, including Krishna himself, is spiritual. But what is eternal in this material world? There's only one thing that's eternal within this material world. And what is that? The soul. Give him a big hand, please. The soul within this body is eternal. Everything else is temporary. So therefore you have to remind yourself about this. And this is explained in Bhagavad Gita. We should know that, but although we have a tendency to lord it over material nature, you know that, people claim my house, my land, my car. Now they're fighting for land, isn't it? Land expropriation or something. Political. Huh? They say the land belongs to me, not you. Who does all this land belongs to? Krishna. They never create. The Lord has created everything and has given you the facilities how to live properly and to surrender to Him eventually and come back to Him. But we claim like controllers, this is mine, because next birth you might be born in America, or you might be born in China, you might take birth in India.
You're not guaranteed a human birth.
Huh?
You're not guaranteed a human birth.
You're not guaranteed even a human birth.
Yes.
You might become a dog or a cat or a rat or a snake. The soul will enter those bodies. So therefore we have to know ourselves properly and inquire and know the Supreme Lord to be the Supreme Person of Godhead, engage in devotional service to Him, and by engaging like that, you can go back home, back to Godhead, to the spiritual world. Understand? I'm going to stop right there. Anybody want to ask any questions? We'll continue this interesting subject matter.
Prabhu, the Prakriti and cosmic manifestation is the same
Sorry?
thing? Prakriti and cosmic manifestation, is it the same thing?
A cosmic manifestation is a complete
Yeah.
manifestation of this cosmos.
Yes.
But Prakriti is material nature. Also, it is this,
Part.
Same thing.
yeah. Anybody else? Huh?
And Prabhu, what about our karma? Is it also eternal?
No, karma is temporary.
Temporary. But you'll take it in your next birth.
Huh?
It'll carry us to a next birth. Karma.
That depends on
Well
your,
and finish.
that depends on your karma.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be carried to the next birth. Good karma and bad karma. Depends on you. According to the three modes of material nature. That subject matter will be dealt with. Anybody else? Excuse me.
Yeah, Prabhu, the one verse in Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna tells Arjuna, the devotee can enter into his spiritual world when he's completely eradicated all sinful activities. So, a lot of people ask me, no, we can't do Hare Krishna, Krishna Mantra, because they say that we are still going to need doing all the wrong things. They can't come. So they get, they create a doubt. Because Krishna says only, the pious can come to him. Yeah, it's
What's your question?
728.
You know what he's trying
Yeah,
to
but
say?
that-
What is his question?
What's the question?
Why do people doubt that they cannot come to Krishna consciousness? Because they don't follow the four basic principles. They're not adhering to our principles.
No, but it's in this lifetime, so everything different.
So what's your question? Are you telling me what's there? Or?
Yeah, how to convince them?
Tell them come.
Yeah, to
Tell them to come to Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
and don't worry if eating meat too, that's fine.
yeah.
Just come. Then eventually they'll give up the bad habits.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
we all had bad habits.
You see, it's not easy to convince anybody,
Yeah.
but But all you do is, like the Prabhu is mentioning, don't be difficult with anybody. Are you hearing? Haribol? Don't be difficult with anybody. You know, and try to degrade them
Yes, don't do
or
that.
insult somebody.
Don't do that.
Because Krishna consciousness is not meant to insult someone, instead to save them.
Correct.
Right? If you just do your preaching or speak to them and leave the results to Krishna. That is not for you to decide. That is not for you to decide.
That's why I quote this verse to them. I tell them, 7:28, that persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
Yes, correct.
7:28.
Correct. You see, that guy didn't finish his previous karma. He did so far. He came back and he completed all his karma now.
Yeah.
So he's eligible to go back to the spiritual sky. Understand? That's what he says.
If
Right,
it's
bro?
to evolve, you don't have a time. Madhumangal will be here one day.
I tell them.
Someone will be here. You don't have time.
Sorry?
I tell them to come because this verse, Krishna gives them advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't challenge anyone.
Yeah.
No.
So they
Don't
Just tell him to
challenge
come, that's all.
anyone.
Tell him to
Krishna
come.
tells, give it.
You have to be,
Yeah.
preaching is an art and you must be very tactful.
Correct.
You know, not to beat around the bush or bluff people, because Krishna consciousness is not a bluff.
Yeah.
It is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
And therefore, we should just preach and leave the results to Krishna, because Krishna knows, because he knows past, present and future, right? And Krishna knows very clearly whether that person will take to Krishna consciousness or not. And he will allow that, for that person to become or surrender to Krishna.
That's what they don't know. They don't
So
have faith.
just preach to them, leave them here. So all of you are sitting here like that, Mataji, Susan and family too. They know that I've been helping them and preaching to them for many years, I think over 20 years, more than 20 years, isn't it? I know them, this family. And you can inquire from them if I was very difficult with them or something. I went so easy with them for many years. And they have been convinced in their Krishna consciousness, because Krishna knows now they are ready. And he allowed them. So therefore, you have to be very careful in how we handle a situation.
Must be very tactful.
Otherwise, we can turn many people away
Yes.
who want
We
to
don't want
come
that.
to Krishna. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki
Jai.
Please give me a blessing ki
Jai.
Nitai Go Premanand.
Hari Bol.